All right, today we are diving deep into a really profound concept called Paramatma. Think of it as a cosmic blueprint for understanding how the divine is connected to, well, everything, from the vastness of space right down to the very spark of consciousness inside you. So, let's kick things off with the one question that's going to guide us through this whole journey. How is the divine, the supreme self, connected to every single atom, every universe out there? And, maybe most importantly, to you? It's a massive question, I know, but we're going to break it all down. Here's the game plan. First, we'll look at the three big ways the divine shows up across the cosmos. Then, we'll get super clear on the difference between an individual self and a divine self. After that, we'll meet the cosmic management team, you could say, who are in charge of nature's fundamental forces. We'll explore the path to liberation, and then we'll wrap it all up by figuring out why this huge cosmic map even matters in our daily lives. Okay, first stop, the big picture. We're going to explore the three main ways Paramatma manifests in reality. The best way to think about it is like a cosmic zoom lens. We're going to start at the absolute widest angle possible and then focus all the way down to you and me. Now, before we get any further, let's just lock in this main idea. Paramatma. It's also called Purusha, and it means the supreme immanent self. Now, the key word there is immanent. This isn't some distant, far-off God. This is the source and, this is crucial, the inner regulator of all reality, both on the grand cosmic scale and the deeply personal individual one. So, here is our journey in 3 simple steps. We're going to start at the highest vantage point you can imagine, the metacosmic, which is the source of literally all universes. Then we'll zoom in a bit to the macrocosmic. That's the reality inside just one of those universes. And finally, we'll bring the focus all the way down to the microcosmic level, that divine spark that exists inside every individual. So at that highest, most mind-bogglingly expansive level, we have Karano Dakasaya Vishnu. This is the manifestation that acts as the inner regulator of the whole metacosm. We're talking the totality of everything that exists, every soul, all of primordial nature. This is the ultimate source. You know, trying to wrap your head around a metacosmic source, it's pretty much impossible, but the texts, they give us this unbelievable visual to help. This quote here is used to explain the sheer scale of creation. The image is that Kronodakasai Vishnu manifests unlimited universes from the pores of his body. It's just a powerful, poetic way of describing an infinite creative source. Okay, so from that infinite source, we zoom in one level to Garbhodakasai Vishnu. This is the manifestation that expands out from the metacosm and actually enters into each individual universe. You can think of it as the divine presence that becomes the inner guide and the witness for an entire cosmic system, like the one we live in. And finally, we bring it all the way down, all the way home to the personal level. The third manifestation is Ksheladro Dakasi Vishnu. This is the Paramatma that lives within the heart of every single living being, every individual's soul, or jiva. It's acting as that inner regulator, the silent witness, and our constant companion. All right, so now that we've seen how Paramatma is woven into the fabric of everything, we've got to make a really crucial distinction. The source text is very clear that there are 2 basic kinds of self, the individual souls, which are called jivas, and the divine expansions known as avatars. And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. A jiva, an individual soul like you or me, is called a differentiated portion. We have limited power, and this is the big one, we can be influenced by what's called the extrinsic potency, or Maya, which is what creates that feeling of being separate from the divine. An avatara, on the other hand, is a plenary expansion. They have full divine powers, they are never influenced by Maya, and they have this intrinsic, built-in identity of being God. So the real difference comes down to their relationship with divine power and illusion. So now, let's zoom in on a specific type of avatara, one that has a really, really important job, managing the entire material cosmos. These are the guna avatars, and they're the ones who regulate the fundamental forces of nature itself. But to get what they do, first you gotta understand the 3 gunas. You can think of these as the 3 basic qualities or modes of all material nature. You've got sattva, which is the quality of goodness, purity, and balance. Then there's rajas, which is all about passion, energy, and creation. And finally, tamas, which is about ignorance, inertia, and dissolution. Everything you see and experience in the material world is some combination of these 3 forces. So who's managing these forces? Well, this is where the Gunavataras come in, what's popularly known as the Hindu Trinity. Vishnu is in charge of sustenance, and he's associated with that pure quality of sattva. Brahma handles creation, which is driven by the fiery, passionate quality of rajas, and Shiva oversees dissolution, which is aligned with the quality of tamas. They work together to keep the cosmic cycles of creation, maintenance, and destruction turning. Okay, so all of this brings us to the ultimate goal for the individual soul, for the jiva. If we can be influenced by Maya and feel that sense of separation, then the big question is, how do you break free? This is the path to liberation. Now, according to the source material, this is the key point right here. Among those guna avatars, Vishnu has the supreme role when it comes to granting liberation. So while Brahma and Shiva are incredibly powerful, the texts say it is only Vishnu who can release a soul from the bondage of Maya. And get this, the texts also say that even the scriptures can be categorized by the gunas, and that only the Sattvika scriptures, the ones aligned with purity and goodness, can lead a person to ultimate welfare. So, we've journeyed from the very source of all universes down to the path of a single individual soul. Let's bring it all together and ask the big question. Why does this incredibly detailed, complex cosmic map actually matter to us, personally? This quote from the source, it really just gets to the heart of the whole thing. The fundamental challenge for every one of us as a jiva is that we can so easily get caught up in this external force, Maya, which makes us feel separate from our own divine source. Understanding this whole framework is like being given a map. It doesn't just show you where you are, it clarifies the nature of the entire journey, and it points you toward the ultimate destination. And that leaves us with one final thought to reflect on. If we really take this framework to heart, the idea that the Supreme Self, Paramatma, isn't some distant being, but is the eternal, silent witness right here inside each of us, what does that change? What does that change about how we see ourselves, how we see our actions, and how we see our connection to everything and everyone else? It's a pretty profound thought to carry with you. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.